everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from Salt Lake City, land where Brexit would be a girl's given name instead of a thing that happens.
That's true. That's a good point. It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
The podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
And coming up on the show today, we're talking about
We're going to talk about reasons why we should all believe in God.
No, Dan, that's not true.
We should. We'll prove it to you later.
Yeah, we have proof, so stick around if you want your minds blown.
We're going to blow your mind with reasons why you should stop listening to this show and start listening to Osteen.
We both took the Skeptic's Prayer Challenge.
Yes, and
my golly, it worked.
I'll be damned.
No, I'll be darned, Dan.
No, I mean I'll be damned because I've been an atheist for so long. What?
No. God forgives.
Yeah, somebody give me some of that forgiveness real quick.
He saves us from the things that he would do to us if we don't obey him.
How many Hail Martys do I have to do for this to all go away?
I don't know.
All right, we'll figure that out in the second half of the show. Meanwhile, I'm going to start us off. I'm going to launch us in. Here we go.
Okay.
We're going to talk about ritual abuse. In May, there was a ritual abuse and child abuse conference in Oakland, California. Now, there's a... Now,
for or against?
I just like that I said child abuse and you started laughing. That's
no,
what
because I was thinking, for or against?
Pro or anti? Which one are you? It's a how-to seminar.
That's what I'm afraid of, Dan.
No, not at all. But it's a little bit weirder than that because here's the thing. Of course, no one is happy about child abuse.
No.
But there's a whole thing that started in the 80s, really. Well, you can go back a little earlier and talk about the 70s, but in the 80s there was this whole satanic panic thing that happened.
Yes. I remember this.
And there was this very a group of a lot of, I have to be so careful here. A lot of therapists and stuff started believing in this idea that you could recover memories from your past that had been sort of washed from your brainwashing, right, by ritual satanic abuse. So ritual satanic abuse became this big thing that everybody was worried about in the 80s.
Well, it's awful, Dan.
It is awful.
When it happens...
It's also bullshit, and it never actually occurred.
No, Dan, I lived through the 80s.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it happened.
There were books about it and everything. There definitely were.
I'm pretty sure it happened to one of my friend's older sisters.
Yep, pretty sure. And it didn't happen
because I also remember that there was this lot back behind the school where there was like ritualistic, satanic, killing of chickens and stuff.
Of course,
that was happening.
Very much so. Of course,
this was happening. It was happening all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that never happened.
Dan, how dare you?
I don't mean to deny anyone's experience, but there was not a rash. Maybe there were one or two. Who knows? But there was not a national problem of, say, ritualized satanic abuse. And so... and it's all been largely discredited. Basically, everybody kind of all the main, psychiatric groups in the country have all sort of discounted the idea of recovered memory as an actual thing.
They scrubbed it from the.
they brainwashed it right out of the physician's desk reference or whatever. What's the one for psychology? Anyway,
DSRMV.
Right. Now you're just saying letters.
The DSRM.
Yeah, exactly.
The Diagnostic and Manual.
Right. So anyway, there are still, and this got perpetuated more and more by there were talk shows, Geraldo and Oprah,
Ricky Lake.
They all had these people on who had been brainwashed by the Satanists and blah blah blah, and it turns out that there's no. I mean, you can emotionally and psychologically manipulate a person.
Sure.
Brainwashing doesn't exist, though. That's not a thing. That's not a real thing.
See, here's where I'm going to have to differ with you again, Dan. I am a serious fan of television dramas, primetime television dramas,
and it is clear
Major Network. And I'm pretty sure.
Well, this is part of the problem, that it is in popular culture so much that it's very much believed.
I'm pretty sure. No. In Search Of. Did you ever watch?
No.
The Leonard Nimoy.
But you've
In
seen
Search Of.
You've seen The Manchurian Candidate. You know.
Yes, that's a great example.
You know,
actually,
it's so true. Except that, and it was also perpetuated by the fact that the CIA for a while actually believed it might be true and did experiments and shit, like back in the 60s, I want to say, or 50s. Mm-hmm. So like that lended even more credibility because the CIA was like trying to make it work.
Well, Jason Bourne.
Exactly. Clearly true. It's all true.
It's a biopic, right?
Right. Exactly. Well, unfortunately, these there's real harm that can come from these conventions where people are going to try and learn about. You know, there's still a large group of people who believe that they've been ritualistically, satanically abused, and they go to these things, and they've gotten the attention of a group of people who want to combat the potentially dangerous effects of this kind of a convention. Okay. The Satanic Temple.
It actually flashed that might be where it was going.
Yeah, so
wow.
Apparently the Satanic Temple has infiltrated, they have sent spies into these things to sort of record and
of course they have.
And
do they deny
them.
that they do?
No. You know, they're just so that people understand. Like, there's this. Well, I won't get into every reason why there's harm. You guys can look it up if you want to, but there is real harm in people believing this stuff because they can actually be taken advantage of, and some nasty stuff can happen. Anyway, but the Gray Faction, which is a group from the Satanic Temple that make it their goal to stop abuse and to expose what they seek to raise awareness about medical professionals who continue to promote conspiracy theories about Satanism.
Yeah.
So they're out there doing their thing. Mm-hmm. And again, I find myself very much on. I don't love all of their tactics,
right?
But I'm very much in agreement with the Satanic Temple. They are doing the Lord's work.
Well, that's great.
Lord Satan.
That's cool. Good.
Hail Satan.
Well, I have a story, Dan.
Yeah.
Of an elected school board member in Spring Grove, not Mississippi. That's where it seems like it should be going. Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Spring Grove, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Who he saw a church's sign in his community that outraged him.
Ooh, was it like a marquee sign? Like that changes?
They put churches like that thing, right?
Sure.
They put out a little sign with the little changeable letters.
Sure,
right?
it's often cute.
It's little
every now and then you get a
snappy,
delightful one on the internet that's like, the most powerful position is on your knees.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's cute.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it is.
So this was one that was posted by the pastor of St. Paul's United Church of Christ.
Okay.
We all know about the United Church of Christ, right? So, and here's somebody outraged. This is an inclusive group. Uh-huh. These people, it's just Christ's love. That's all it is. That's all they care about. Just Jesus, his love.
Okay.
Right? So the school board official saw this sign that said, "Wishing a blessed Ramadan to our Muslim neighbors."
Oh, fuck. Well, that will not stand. You can't pull one over on us.
He took to Twitter.
Oh yeah,
as you do. when you're outraged.
It's always a good idea. It's never a bad idea to immediately launch into a Twitter tirade when you're mad.
And he began harassing the church. He acted in a way that the pastor of St. Paul's United Church of Christ feels is unbecoming of an elected official, in particular, someone who's on a school board, right?
Okay,
and he says that he's working the. Let's see. I am outraged.
Which he? Who's outraged?
This is the
pastor or the
no. This is the
guy.
Okay. This is the pastor.
Okay.
Christopher Rodkey is the name of the pastor, and Matt Jansen is the name of the school board member.
Okay.
So this is Rodkey speaking. I am outraged that he said on Twitter after the Monday school board meeting that he wouldn't resign because the students of the Spring Grove School District needed him to protect him. One might ask, from whom?
Okay.
This is controversial.
It is.
It made the news, Dan.
Well, it would, wouldn't it?
Because here's a school board member and a pastor
going up against a Christian pastor. What does he have against Christ?
Well,
huh? What do you have against Christians, Mr. School Board guy? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I will. I'm going to move on.
No,
to
Dan.
Another outrage. More outrage.
Okay.
Here's some. Imagine, if you will, a group of young white men, you know, maybe in their 20s, I'm guessing just from the picture I'm seeing, getting away with something in the United States judicial system. Shocking, right?
White men?
Yeah, acquitted.
No. Against whom? Well, or what did they do? Or
finally, this is a story where it's like it's not against some poor marginalized group, but rather Joel Osteen. These guys. This is another case of. This is the tragedy of Christian on Christian violence.
No,
it's so sad.
No,
these guys are a group of 6 men belonging to the Church of Wells. I guess that's Wells, Oklahoma.
Wells?
Yes, I'm guessing that's a place. Or let's see, Osteen's in Texas, so maybe there's a place called Wells, Texas.
Okay.
Anyway, the Church of Wells. They went to Osteen's giant church and shouted him down as he delivered a sermon.
No,
they shouted him down as a false prophet. they
know that Osteen doesn't act like a prophet.
No.
To me.
No.
Like at all.
What he does is avoid all the controversial things and just say nice things.
Yes.
And then and one of the nice things he says is, and also give me your money, and then you'll get more money.
Oh, yeah. That's, yeah.
Anyway, they see his prosperity gospel as being a bullshit, which it is.
Right.
But yes, they said he's a false prophet, and he preaches a prosperity message that does not turn people from their sins. Terrible.
What sins?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, these 4 of these guys, 2 of them remain to be tried, but 4 of these guys were just all acquitted of any kind of crime. Apparently, it's okay to shout down someone in their church. They were originally charged with trespassing as well as I don't know, whatever, yelling.
If it's a place that's open to the public and you walk in and you do something, and then at what point does it become trespassing?
The trespassing charge was dismissed.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you open your meetings to the public,
that would be different.
Yeah. The men's attorneys argued that they were just exercising their First Amendment rights for free speech.
Yeah,
and apparently their jury agreed. So I guess go and yell at people.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either.
Because
I'm not tremendously comfortable with that.
Like I don't like the idea of like if we were having a thing and people came in
and started hollering
that there should be a space for that. right? Like, I don't know that anybody should get in a ton of trouble, but there has to be something so that it discourages it in the future.
I mean,
your own spaces that you're setting up and that people are showing up for your thing.
Yeah.
That should be...
that should be fine.
That should be okay.
You should be safe in that environment.
To a certain extent.
You know, what Osteen could have learned from is these Trump rallies where all you have to do is the second anyone says anything, you have them escorted by security from the event and then beaten up in the alley behind the place.
Yeah.
It's just
what you do.
It's a simple thing.
You need goons.
Right. You say to your audience of thousands, somebody should beat that guy up. And then you just leave it at that.
Oh, you don't even need official goons. You just
No, you've got an entire mob. You don't need to pay goons.
The goons are already there.
Goons are free. Believe me, at Trump's events, goons are everywhere. You got goons. All right, move on.
Dan?
Yes.
This is one that I don't know exactly where the fun in this story is.
Oh, goody. Way to sell it.
Go
to the hard sell.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
There is a summit that is going to be held in Europe. It's first of its kind, at least in Europe. It's an Islamophobia summit.
Oh, okay. A pro or con?
Thank you. No, against. They're rounding up political, academic.
Okay, don't say rounding up. That feels that for a second. My heart skipped a beat. I was like,
all the Muslims in Europe.
Right.
No, they're rounding up political, academic, and civil society leaders in order to seek policy solutions to this increase in anti-Muslim rhetoric that's been on the rise in Europe.
Yeah, it's a problem there. And, again, just like here, there are reasons why it's a problem. Like, if crazy Muslim people would stop shooting places up, it would be a little easier to combat. But it's not. But that doesn't. Again, that's kind of unfair to Islam on the whole.
Or, Muslims who are
individual Muslims.
Right, exactly.
Some
painting them all with the same, broad stroke.
Right.
Not
fair
fair thing to do.
Well, and a bad idea because you're just inciting more violence.
Right.
And that's never okay.
Right. So, I guess the question is, obviously, they're getting together and we know the whys and blah, blah, blah. But it brings up this interesting idea. The word itself, Islamophobia, right? A phobia is any irrational fear, right? That's the most basic definition of phobia, right? So it begs the question, is sort of this fear or concern about Islam, is it rational or irrational?
That is a valid question to ask. I feel like Islam is a problem in the modern times.
Yeah.
And but do you find homophobia to be a useful term?
Well, I do strike fear.
You're terrifying
in the hearts of men.
You and many of your gay cohorts are so fucking
just
scary.
So scary. Islam or homophobia. It's a strange term. I think
nobody means phobia.
Heterosexist is more accurate.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So this would be non-Islamist.
Yeah. Anti-Islamist, anti-Islamic. Yeah,
it's tough.
It's catchy.
And so
I'll tell you
Islamophobia is just it works as long as you sort of accept it to not really be too much about fear being irrational.
Right.
Not. But it just sort of brought up the question in my mind.
Well, and I've heard objections to that term from people like Bill Maher, I think, objects to that term, and Sam Harris, in part because...
Well, of course, but those guys are very loud in their sort of general objections to Islam.
Right, which
And
maybe their objections stem in part from the fact that they are frequently painted as Islamophobic. So yes, I can understand their objection, but the way that they voice this objection, or the way that they talk about this objection, is much more about how they themselves, how when you come up with a word that encapsulates something that's meant to encapsulate every objection to Islam, then we can't have the discussion. Then you've truncated the discussion so far that it's not possible to actually be honest in it, because everything someone says that's negative about Islam can suddenly be just thrown into the junk pile of Islamophobia and then not taken seriously because it's just bigotry at that point. Yeah. So that is problematic, and I agree with them on that point. And I'll be honest, and this is going to get me in trouble, I agree with a lot of their other points about Islam as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I guess I don't think that I'm anti-religion in general, but Islam is a particular problem in this modern context.
Particularly concerning, in so many ways,
right?
Because of what we see as outcomes, products of the community, and it seems to be rooted. Seems it doesn't seem to be very very easy to draw these connections somehow in the religion itself,
right?
But
and I'll tell you what, the problem isn't that Islam has worse laws or worse, like that the Quran is worse than the Bible.
Right.
The problem is just that they actually believe it. The problem is that they're actually more devout, and they actually believe what they're reading in their ancient stupid book.
Right.
Whereas Christians have long since sort of read their book and been like, oh, we need to start picking and choosing. This is not okay.
We enjoy having a functioning economy much more than adhering to...
Well, the Lord hasn't struck us down for not sending the women to the tents on their period for a while. I think we're okay.
We're okay on that one.
I think we're okay.
Okay. Everybody?
Are we still safe? Okay. Bob's been eating shrimp for forever, and he hasn't been struck by lightning.
And he's still alive.
I feel like it's okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we're good.
He's doing okay. Now, I will say, I've been cutting down on the caffeine lately.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
just to go back to like a word of wisdom.
To be a good Mormon.
To be a good Mormon, right?
Right.
And...
you still like the boys, but you're doing less caffeine.
No, I'm doing. Yeah, this is more just about the word of wisdom more than anything else. No, nothing of the sort. But no, fascinating. Too much caffeine through drinking too much coffee.
Yeah,
it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
it's a drug.
I put myself into some sort of crazy little mindset for a minute.
Oh, do you feel better?
I feel way better.
Oh, good.
Anxiety. Almost gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
Which
a nice
is why
thing.
when you offered me a cup of coffee when I came over, I was like, the anxiety drug? No. Anxiety juice? No. I don't need it.
And yet there it sits.
And there it sits because I'm sleepy.
All right.
So I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Did you have another story?
Yeah. Do you have another?
No.
You should.
No.
What was the one you just did?
I just did. Oh, no, I have another story.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
There we
Dan.
go. Let's cut that shit out.
No way.
Okay. The UK. I'm going to the UK, the United Kingdom of Great Britain.
The UK and UKIP.
Yeah, exactly. Don't mention them. So there's a one of the reasons that is given that people want to Brexit, that people want to leave the European Union, is that there are too many people, outsiders, coming in.
And Dan, why they may have Brexited.
They may. Yes, we're recording on Brexit night.
Brexit. It's not Brexit Eve. Yeah, you're right. It's breakfast.
Breakfast.
Let's
call it breakfast.
Yeah.
So Frank has been obsessively. Frank has been obsessively checking the Brexit. Anyway, what?
God, Dan.
They may have left.
Yeah, they're leaving.
Okay.
They're leaving.
Anyway, one of the reasons given for leaving is because anyone from the European Union is allowed to go to any place in the European Union and live there and work there and whatever. And and people in the UK.
And it sounds glorious to this observer.
Yes,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You grew up in Spain, you can go work in France.
Yeah, but what if
questions asked.
But what if you were a refugee that was allowed into some lower European country?
Oh,
let's
dear
say
God.
Slovenia. We'll say Slovenia. They'll just let any old person in. No, they won't. They won't. But
no.
But then a refugee, once granted, could go to the UK. So anyway, here's one of the things. Here's what we're talking about here: is that the UK does accept refugees. Will offer asylum to people. But one of the things that they'll do is verify that the reason that they're seeking asylum is legit. Mm-hmm. And one of the groups that seeks asylum in Europe a lot is Christians from like Northern Africa, from largely Muslim countries. Mm-hmm. They are persecuted there. That's one of the few places where they actually are persecuted.
Sure, I don't buy it, but
well, they don't always buy it either. But here's the thing. The way that they test to see if this is... Because anybody could just claim, oh, I'm a Christian and I'm being persecuted.
Yeah.
Let me in. But what if they're not? What if it's a lie? So they've decided... So they have this test.
You ask them to say shibboleth.
Isn't that what you say when you're trying to test if the S's are popping on your microphone?
Shibboleth.
Shibboleth. Shibboleth. Shibboleth. Anyway, so they gave this test, and it's a knowledge test to see how well you know Christianity. Well, here's the problem with that. Christians don't know Christianity that well. People don't actually know the facts about their religion. They know the feelings about their religion much more.
So the test should be structured, not who knows the most, but who knows the most convincing sort of details.
The feelings.
If they know too much over here,
right?
Who
knows?
Instead of the right stuff to know and have gotten wrong, probably.
Right.
But if they know stuff too precisely on this other camp, then they should. That's a telltale sign, right?
Well, yeah. They've listed. I've got a series of the questions that are on this test. Some of them, I feel like Christians should probably definitely know. Things like who did Jesus raise from the dead? That's
Lazarus.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, quiz me.
I'm giving you the easy ones first. I'm going to get harder in a minute.
Okay, sure.
Where did Jesus become angry with the moneylenders?
The temple.
Who betrayed Jesus to the Romans?
Judas.
Okay.
Okay.
How many books are in the Bible?
57.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I have no idea how many of the books are in the Bible. I just think
I
that's
have no
crazy.
clue, Dan.
No. How many books are in the New Testament?
23.
Mark, Luke, John, the Acts, the Romans. Anyway, how many chapters are in the book of John?
14.
Yeah, you don't know the answer to that. You're just making numbers up. How about this? What are the 10 Commandments?
Okay. Honor thy mother and thy father.
1.
Do not kill.
2. Are we going to do this?
Yeah. Do not steal.
Okay.
Do not covet thy neighbor's ass.
Oh, and she's got a great ass.
She's got a great ass. Honor thy God or whatever. The Lord, I am the Lord thy God, and thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Okay, there's 5.
Okay, which is sometimes split into 2, right? Isn't it? There's one of them that's sometimes 2. Anyway, sometimes Y. Honor the Sabbath day and keep it holy.
Okay.
Did I say mother and father
Yeah.
already? Oh, God damn it. Let's see. There's some bullshit ones. There's some absolute bullshit ones that account for nothing.
Yeah, the first 4 are all just I'm important. Ooh, I'm so big. Don't you better love me sort of thing.
No graven images.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, there's a lot of ones that I know plenty of Christians who will not be able to answer many of these questions. is what we're getting at here. So anyway, yeah, I just think that that's funny because that quiz I think will exclude a lot of people who very legitimately
number of books in the Bible. That one is like crazy town.
Yeah, you're supposed to just know that. What do you do? You need to go through and I mean, maybe you can sing the song.
Who was the idiot savant, right? Who wrote this test?
Right, exactly.
You know, who just this is common knowledge, right?
You should definitely know the books of the Bible. Definitely.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth.
Yeah, you can go through. If you were a Mormon and you grew up with the songs, you might be able to make it. You won't have enough fingers. You'll have to do like little tick marks with your pen.
First and second books of Mormon.
Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, let's move on.
And singing, this is so fun. Alma, Helam, and third, fourth, Nephi, Jacobinus.
I almost did a spit take. Don't. Just stop. I did it. I almost did a spit take, not because you're funny, but because you were still going. Okay.
Rude, Dan.
All right.
That cut deep, Dan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, Dan.
Yeah.
Kim Davis alert.
Okay. Oh, KD. The big KD.
She still hasn't been put to rest.
Please say that she's Trump's running mate. Please say that she's Trump's running mate. That's all I need to hear in the universe.
I wish. That would be amazing. I have a friend whose theory is that Trump is, I don't know that she even came up with it, but that Trump's intentionally trying to lose at this point. That he never thought he'd get this far.
Right.
And so, yeah, she'd be a perfect choice to keep pushing that one along.
Yeah.
All right. Kim Davis, the Kentucky clerk.
The one who we'll all remember, she refused on point of principle to give out gay marriage licenses like a true hero.
And then subsequently spent 6 days in jail for refusing to grant those licenses.
Heroics, I say.
Well, she's gotten her way, Dan.
Oh.
She got her way.
Which is?
Well, the legislators in her state of Kentucky have gotten together and passed a law that makes it so that Kentucky marriage licenses no longer say the county clerk's name, have any personal identifiers whatsoever.
Okay.
And that there is no authorization from any license, right?
Oh.
So it doesn't actually say, apparently, that anybody's giving them authorization to get married.
We no longer license you to marry.
It's just a certificate that they did get married.
Right.
So, and then she'll file it,
which is really all we really wanted from her in the I mean, I'm fine with this because I don't care about a clerk. Right. I have a marriage certificate. I'm married.
Right.
I don't have any clue who the clerk was at the place where I got married, whose name is on it other than mine and my wife's.
Yeah, but her problem is that she always saw her taking somebody's application to marry, right?
Yeah.
And turning it into like a certificate that they were married, that this was somehow her endorsement of it. That's never what that's clerk.
Right. You're just the person who saw the piece of paper and said, we as the state accept this from you.
Yes, and I will now file it over here.
Right. That
is what this whole
means.
office is for.
Ugh.
And now she's gone and got the law changed.
Well, it was important to everyone. Let's just face it. We all supported her.
Well,
thank goodness her name.
And she's thankful, Dan.
Oh, good.
This is what she says. Okay. This is her official statement in response to this. I am thankful to the legislators for passing this law, to Governor Matt Bevin for signing it, to Liberty Counsel for representing me, and most of all, to Jesus Christ,
of course,
who redeemed me and is my solid rock on which I stand.
Oh, she stands on a rock. Should we push her off? Is it King of the Mountain?
I hope it's a large rock.
Oh. No fat jokes. That's not nice. Just
because of her hair.
Yeah. Anyway, I tell you what, she It's a damn fine thing that this has happened. The one thing that she's missing out on, here's what's really going to happen.
What's that, Dan?
Some celebrity is going to go and get married in her district, and her name's not going to be on their thing. She could have gone down in history as, the clerk whose name, the only other name on
Brad and Angelina. They finally decided to tie the knot.
It could have been Brangelina Kim.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't. Because she missed out.
What a short-sighted little woman.
She's dumb. Anyway, hey, if you're short-sighted but you want to say something to us, that's cool. Go ahead and write into us. You can write to us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Indeed it is. Go to the Facebook page, kids. Facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
And while you're on Facebook,
while you're there,
search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge.
You might as well.
And request to join.
Yeah. Yep.
You'll be glad you did.
You actually will. It's actually a great place. It's a delightful little village we've created. Hey Frank.
Yes, Dan.
Do you like cool things?
I love cool things.
Are you willing to pay a little for a lot?
That sounds like it's a deal.
It is a deal. Why don't you go to lootcrate.com? Not you specifically, but
I could.
You as a synecdoche, if you will, for our listeners. Go to Loot.
I will, Dan.
And go and get you some like a shit ton of cool geek stuff for not a shit ton of dollars.
Okay, well, tell me how, Dan.
Yeah, you go to lootcrate.com. You go to lootcrate.com/TGIAtheist. That way we get a little bit of money, and you get to sign up for
cool stuff.
Cool stuff that comes to your home every month on a subscription basis. This month or July's theme will be futuristic.
See, this one.
July's crate.
This one sounds really cool.
Packed with items from pop culture's favorite prognostications of science and the future. I'm just reading their summary here. Think of comic book stuff, Star Trek, Futurama stuff. In this one, Rick and Morty, if you're a fan of that. Yeah. All kinds of things.
This one's right up my alley.
So, yeah, lootcrate.com/TGIAtheist. And then you'll it's cool stuff. Hey, do you want to listen to a little Patty Boy? What?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well then we should. I think so.
Well, they call it the abortion distortion. They're just a scheme of lies that keep filling the airways. I don't know what it is about this culture of death that we have here that just delights in killing people, but that's the way it is. They want to kill babies. They want to put to death old people. I mean, it's the whole idea of death, and they seem to revel in it. And they seem to have no end to the deception that goes on in terms of covering up what they're doing. Just to think that when they were selling body parts out of Planned Parent clinics, that they got a judge who wanted to arrest the people who took the pictures to reveal what they were doing. I mean, it's this kind of thing going on, and why? It's a culture of death, and you have to look at the spiritual roots of some of this and say, well, the enemy of our soul is Satan, and he hates people. He hates human beings, and the idea that if humans can kill other humans, and the devil wants to do everything to help it. How many have we killed so far? How many babies? 50 million, 55, maybe 60 million. The numbers are so high, it's hard to keep up with. But it's a shocking Holocaust. And we as Americans seem to think it's okay. Well, it's not okay. And one day, a righteous, holy God is going to demand an accounting for every drop of blood that has been spilled of innocent, unborn babies. And we just keep in mind, when it happens, it's going to be awful.
It's going to be awful.
Babies.
Babies,
Dan.
dying in a Holocaust.
Babies.
Unborn babies all over the place. It's a culture of death. What are you going to do?
Death.
I really like our culture.
Celebration of death.
So apparently, our culture of death, I'm on board. I guess. I don't know where he came up with we want to kill old people. Do you know where he's coming from with that?
I would assume some sort of like doctor-assisted
Suicide sort of thing?
Type thing. But that should be the sick.
That's old people killing their damn selves.
Yeah.
That's so
They don't need anybody's help.
that's people like you, Pat.
Yeah.
Want to kill themselves.
But see, he doesn't buy into this culture of death.
No.
That man, he's scrappy.
It's
you
the
come
devil.
at him with like some syringe of something nasty.
Yeah, no. He's going to turn that down. He's going to decline.
He'll choose life, Dan.
I'll bet he's killed someone with his bare hands.
That man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely done that.
Probably an intern.
Well, we had some folks write into us. I'm going to read from them now. That'll be a thing. Lisa wrote in. She says, "Hey guys, greeting from Sweden, perhaps the most secular country on earth, where the state church advises for gay rights and abortions are free for all. I have a question. Growing up as the only child, I've always been more with friends of my parents than with people my age.
Yeah.
My mother has a lot of homosexual friends who I really enjoy meeting, so I feel like I should be used to gay people, but I can't shake it off. The problem is that I have this strange reversed prejudice that someone who is gay also has to be a nice person. I don't know. I know it isn't true since we have some famous gay assholes here in Sweden, but I can't get rid of this feeling that if someone's gay, I directly feel more friendly to them, and that feels wrong.
Why? You have an affinity.
I should just treat them like anybody. My reaction still marks them as different, even if it, of course, is better than feeling hostile. So she says, I know you are an atheist podcast and not an LGBT podcast, but you have such good insights on these topics, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
We're like 15% an LGBT podcast. Like.
Yeah, sometimes that comes up. Rainbow flag every now and then.
Sorry, guys.
Invades.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, I see no problem with assuming that anyone will be nice.
It does seem like a nicer presupposition than just everyone's going to be an asshole.
Yeah.
But
But boy, who were these gay people that you knew? Because that hasn't been my experience.
Oh, come now.
Nasty bitches. Just the lot of us.
Just one mean, biting thing after another.
And then sashay away.
Have you ever watched RuPaul's Drag Race? It will cure you of the notion that gay people are nice. No, I think you're safe. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
If someone is proven to be not nice, then you'll at least have been nice to them to begin with.
That's a positive thing.
Yeah.
I say embrace it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially with a marginalized community, really, you're not going to do them any harm by like picking them out as like the nice ones.
Seriously, just throw us a bone.
Yeah. Yeah. Assume all the marginalized communities are nicer than the non-ones.
Yeah.
You're probably right. The majority communities tend to be dickholes. Anyway, Alan also wrote into us. Alan said, "Hey, I just finished episode 239. You remember that one, Frank, right?
Oh, yeah.
Very, very well. It was last week, and the topic of the Orlando shooting was raised on the podcast. I feel like Dan especially sort of held all religion and preachers and moderate belief holders up for blame. As a descendant of John D. Lee, an atheist and a semi-regular churchgoer, I would love to have an opportunity to put my perspective on who is responsible for the Orlando shootings. I feel that there is one person, the one who pulled the trigger, to hold up for blame for shooting. I believe that religious leaders, nor old books that are twisted into the belief someone wants to can be blamed. So yes, that's from Alan. I mean, I think obviously yes, the person who needs to go to jail, or well, in this case, not, but the person who's ultimately responsible is the trigger puller.
Yes.
Absolutely. But
There are other factors.
there are factors, and when there are groups in society that contribute to antisocial behavior, to antisocial thought, to hurtful and to worsening our society in general, I'm going to hold them to account. Fuck them. I'm done. It's not so. No, you're wrong. I do give them some blame, not the blame, some blame. How's that?
Yeah.
Is that a valid distinction?
It's crystal clear to me, Dan.
Yeah, I think so. I think I nailed it.
Well done, Dan. Clarity.
No, I mean,
the issue here, in my mind, is that this is like the whole thing is such a fucking mess of different competing issues and fucked up ideologies and this kid harbored clearly a brand of Islam in his head that is the really sick and gross one.
Right.
And so let's fully denounce that little branch, right, of Islam. And then you have to look at how that little pebble starts to ripple out. Who has influence on these spheres, right? And so other members. If you aren't fully denouncing these actions, I think you're complicit, and especially if you're a member of any religious group at this point, right?
But last week I went a step further than that, and I said, even if you are fully denouncing this, the shooting and the homophobia and all of that, I still see complicity, because I think that as long as you're willing to hold up a book that says all gay people must be killed, or that says even that says homosexuality is a sin, as long as you're willing to hold that book up and say, I believe in this, you're part of the problem, you're part of what makes this thing happen.
Right.
And that's where I see culpability. I don't blame you for the murder of these people.
Right.
But I blame you for the environment that this guy grew up in. And I don't even think I have no reason to believe that he was radicalized. Right. I have no reason to believe that he was part of that small group of people who, he wasn't shouting Allah Akbar when he was in there that we know of.
He got on the phone and pledged allegiance.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, even if he didn't care about, he may have been anti-ISIS for all I know, but he was also anti-gay. Probably because he himself is gay and he's got that self-loathing thing, which comes from his religious upbringing.
Yeah.
So I hold everyone who believes in a book that's thousands of years old and that has outdated notions in it, and holds that up and says, I affirm this, you're part of the problem, and I lay culpability at your feet. So there you go.
So saith Dan.
So saith Dan. And so would saith Frank, but he just wants to lay this on me.
It's all on Dan, everyone.
Okay. Hey, do we have some people to thank?
We do have people to thank.
What do we got?
These are new patrons on Patreon.
Our new dear patrons.
And these are their names: Stephen, Doug, Ryan, Sean, and Lincoln.
Ooh.
So thank you guys.
A great group.
New group.
Decidedly male.
This one is very male.
I'm a little disappointed, ladies.
We're reaching out. We're reaching the men.
We
finally
pick up some slack, ladies. You're getting blown out of the water here. But no, actually, anyone who wants to, we are just eminently grateful for anything you can give. If you want to be a per episode donor, go to patreon.com. It's super easy. You can
go to our website, which is thankgodimatheist.com, and find the
Patreon button. That's the easiest way to do it. Yeah. The easiest way to do it, thankgodimatheist.com. Click on the Patreon button. It's as little as just $1 an episode. That's
ding ding.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you feel like you get more out of it and you want to help out more, or you have the means, thank you very much, and we appreciate it. But I mean, if it's just that $1 an episode, you are a valuable patron to us, and we really appreciate it.
It's amazing, and we thank you so much.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the fact, my friend, that there is a God. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, that's right. We teased this that we converted.
Yes, indeed. This started with I was grooving around on Hemant Mehta's blog, and he posted a video by Boston College philosophy professor Peter Kreeft, which looks like a fake name to me, for what is called Prager University. I don't know what that is, but I don't think it's accredited. Anyway,
all right.
He works for Boston College, so that's a definitely accredited university.
That one's for real.
Or college, and it's a good college. But he is offering what he claims to be the benefits of belief in a God. He's not
benefits. So
the benefits,
health benefits.
Well, yeah, he's not making an argument. He's not making logical arguments for belief in God.
He's not saying these are the things that you get out of believing in God right now.
These are reasons. He frames it as reasons we should want God to exist.
Well, see, that's a different thing.
It is a different thing. Here's some of the things that he says. We won't play the thing for you. I won't make you sit through it. You can go to Hemant's blog if you want to or whatever. But he says we should want God to exist, basically because only then does everything make sense. The evil is extra evil if there's no God. Or later he actually says there's no good and evil if there's no God, which
I don't.
He basically,
No, I don't know. Okay.
But yes, he says that,
no good capital G, no capital E evil.
Right. Yeah.
But okay, fine. Proceed.
He basically says
he's making good arguments so far.
All of the sort of the ups and downs of life, all of the things that happen that are good and all the things that are terrible.
Yeah.
They don't make any sense unless we know that there will be justice in the afterlife. Otherwise, it's all just chaos.
I don't know. I've known some believers in my life, and they're often crying out, "Why, God, why?"
Wait,
which suggests to me that maybe their belief in God isn't helping them see the sense of God's senseless actions. By ripping their loved one away from them at a terribly young age.
Right.
Through a horrible death.
But isn't it comforting
Why,
to
God,
know?
Why?
Isn't it comforting to know that there is a plan? You don't get to know what that plan is or why the fuck it affects you so horribly.
Right.
But there's a plan there.
Well, good.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
Wow, that's
we should want God to exist because morality isn't objective without a God. We're just out in the wilderness. One thing, my morality could be different than your morality. And then what are we going to do?
Shock, horror.
You and I could disagree on what is moral. And then you're just going to wander around killing people.
Oh, because I've been planning on it, Dan.
Yeah.
Thanks for blowing my cover.
They don't know. Nobody's listening at this point anyway. So yes, he's basically saying, that we would just be making rules up as we go along. Although, as Hemant points out, that's what we do anyway.
It's definitely what believers do.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they stop when the book is there. It's got its rules written out. But as we discussed earlier, they're eating shrimp as they're reading their Bibles. It's not. It's not like the morality is just completely understood. And also, they all. I would guess that most Christians these days are fine with not having slaves and probably are opposed morally to slavery as a concept. But their book ain't.
Well, that's just unbiblical.
I know.
They need to get some slaves. They need to get in line with God's plan for them.
Right. And then it comes down... See, here's what it comes down to. This video for me came down to... you should want to believe in God because cowardice. Basically, that's what it came down to for me. It makes us feel better. It makes it. He basically said we don't feel significant if we're not a daughter or son of God.
God, that's such fucking.
Which to me, it's like, how significant can I feel? I'm one of God's billions and billions of sons and daughters.
Right, but
I'm so significant.
That's why. I mean, this is.
I mean, it makes me feel better than a rock or a bird.
Right. But we've talked about this idea before, right? The ideas and the messaging and the way to speak to people that continues to exist to this day in sort of Christianity. These have been tested through centuries, right?
Right.
These messages and these single ideas and speaking to you and your insignificance, but with God, you have infinite significance, right?
Right.
You are,
and that's the phrase that he uses, isn't it?
Very careful choice of the word. You are a son of God. That means there's this relationship that you can, you can understand, and it makes sense to you, and it's personal, and you are a son of God,
of a magic person.
Yeah.
You're a son of somebody magic, or daughter of someone magic.
Who himself is infinite. So the fact that he has billions of sons and daughters, it doesn't matter. He has a personal connection with all of you.
He's outside of time and space.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me feel more significant. There's no way that being one of billions could make me feel more significant. It just,
but see, that's the thing. It does, though.
It does. It does for people. If you don't think about it,
if you buy into the whole thing,
right,
then it makes you feel really very warm and comforted, and these tough realities of life. You know, these realizations that we have when we look out at the stars at night. Right.
Yeah.
Like of how small,
how
and
tiny
insignificant,
we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Like these are tough things to grapple with.
It can be,
you know.
I mean,
for a lot of people,
and I think we all like meaning.
I think
is important to people, and and so like one of the things that's troublesome about leaving religion is that like, oh shit, maybe I'm not meaningful, and maybe I'm not significant, and what do I do with that?
Yeah. Not only are you losing community.
Yeah.
And potentially connections to family.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody you've ever known.
Friends and
around.
Your entire support group or network or whatever.
Yeah.
Those things just slip away. And your conception of yourself and your place in the cosmos completely slips away.
Right.
It's terrifying.
It can be. It can be.
It can be.
I don't think it has to be.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be. But like as exhilarating my realizations were that I didn't believe in God, there was a time that I had to sort through and mourn, for lack of maybe even a better word, but the loss of all of that.
Yeah.
You know, like and your mind has to get re-wrapped around.
Well, you have to
the whole thing.
You have to resort basically everything, like the way that you had constructed in your mind how the universe works.
Yeah.
You got to redo that whole construction.
Yeah.
It's like you made a huge science project for school, and then you found out afterwards, after you had put all that time and energy in, that you were wrong about the science, and you have to go back and start all the way from scratch again.
It's just like that, Dan.
It's terrible. I like that I went to like, being in 8th grade rather than I could have said like your doctoral dissertation is wrong.
Sure, yeah.
And you have to go back and redo that. But no, I just went with that.
It's horrifying.
Well, it's funny because
you have to get a whole new trifold, piece of cardboard.
And the problem is that you always start those the night before they're due. So now, you're already up till like 1 a.m. Now you're going to be up till 4.
Mountain Dew and no dose.
Oh my gosh!
That's the only way you're getting through that.
Okay, so I wanted to take this as a launching off point, and I looked up some other like reasons why proofs that God exists or whatever.
Yeah.
It got some good ones. I loved this. I found a lovely article. The complexity of our planet points to a deliberate designer. You hear a lot about designer. Including points like the Earth. Its size is perfect. The Earth's size and gravity holds a thin layer of mostly nitrogen and oxygen gases, only extending about 50 miles above. Like, yes, I will concede that the Earth is the perfect environment for the life that is on it. You're right.
Yeah.
You could say it's almost like it was designed to be that way. Or you could say that's how the Earth was.
And
then
found
life
a way.
kind of happened because it happened to be the perfect place for it.
Yeah.
You could go backwards.
Oh, Dan.
But I wouldn't do that.
I don't know.
Yeah. Water.
I just pick away, Dan. I'm not going to pick away and then go back on that way.
Right.
That's not the way that this whole thing works over here.
Yeah. I love that one of the proofs that God exists is the universe operates by uniform laws of nature. Why does it? Because God. Or because when there's chaos, it eventually finds equilibrium. It finds a way to not, it moves toward order.
Yeah.
That's just sort of how things are. If you shake everything up, eventually everything will find a place to fit. It's just how it works.
God, though.
It's God. It's mostly God. Obviously, it's mostly God. We know he exists. Oh, well, no, that's stupid. I'm not even going to read that one.
No.
We know he...
How bad is it?
Okay. We know he exists because he pursues us. He is constantly initiating and seeking for us to come to him.
Gross.
Shut up.
He's like a predator.
Right? Yeah, he's always looking in your window.
No.
Just, will you come and... Will you...
God's a creepy bastard.
He's a creep. He's a creep. He's looking at you while you're masturbating. That's his favorite thing to look at.
He's got to have a really dirty mind after all that he's seen.
And the thing is, he's not getting off on it. He's just shaming you. He's just writing it down. Well, that guy's going to hell more now. He's going to even more hell.
Yeah. We're going to have to invent another ring for that one.
The clearest picture.
I didn't even think of that one when I invented hell.
Right, yeah. Oh, why did I even give them those penises? I don't understand. I love...
They just fit in so many places.
Oh, not the fruit. What do you... Oh. And then, here's a good one. The historical, miracle-working, resurrected Jesus demands a supernatural explanation. Proof! Oh, wrap your head around that shit.
That hurts so bad, Dan. That one's so stupid. That's the stupid one.
Yeah, there are a bunch of I'm on a different one now, and it's a bunch of really stupid stuff. Morality demands a moral lawgiver. You'll hear that all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because morality, you don't get morality without a moral... without someone telling you what to do.
Really?
You need to have a daddy wagging a finger in order to get a morality, kind of morality.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Intelligence, our intelligence, demands an intelligent creator. Otherwise, where'd it come from? Nothing? I don't think so. And that's really, I think their best argument is, I don't think so. Doesn't sound right to me. Yeah.
Seems a little too easy.
Seems it doesn't pass the smell test.
Lacks that certain je ne sais quoi of bullshit.
Well, see, now here's the thing. If intelligence demands an intelligent creator, who created the creator? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, the old who created the creator.
Oh, no, now my head really hurts.
He wasn't, and then their great answer to that is, he wasn't created, he always existed. Huh?
Dan, what really is alarming to me is that when I was a kid,
Right.
I mean, these aren't exactly sort of Mormon-y stuff that you
No.
get expect. Like, this is a little different, but it's similar, right?
Sure.
There's similar
People
Mormon rationalities.
will make
it's
their arguments.
right?
Yeah.
This fucking makes my head hurt now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, no, oh, God, that's a mess.
Right.
That whole thing you just said is a fucking mess.
Yeah.
And as like a kid, it was just like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
It was like,
Well, when you're in it, when you're enveloped in it,
yeah.
all of this shit is like, right on, brother. That makes so much sense. Because you're coming at it from the wrong point of view.
Right.
Because with any kind of real logical reasoning, you can't start with a conclusion and then work toward premises that seem to support the conclusion.
Right.
You have to go with what you're given.
Right.
You have to look at actual reality. And they don't seem to be... and when you're in the middle of a religion that has no evidence for it based in reality...
Right.
You have to start bending the facts to fit your conclusion.
Yeah.
It's what you gotta do.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Oh shoot, Frank!
What, Dan?
I don't think we converted anybody to back to Christianity on this episode. I felt like we were gonna do it. The Earth and the Moon? No, that's not gonna do it.
No.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, I'm busy Snapchatting.
You are busy Snapchatting.
Did you know that that's what I was doing?
Yes, and you left me alone, hanging out there in the wilderness, talking while you were...
I'm putting a little devil
Okay.
next to your head.
Well, I'm
A
not...
little purple devil.
Well, there you
And
go.
I'm posting it right now.
Okay.
There it goes. It's going to
Well,
go on my story.
late-
Anybody, go check it out. Although it'll be gone by the time it shows up. That's how Snapchat works!
Snapchat. Anyway, if you were lucky enough to see it, boy, aren't you just...
Now you'll get the reference.
That's a treat for you.
Or
Or
it's not
whatever.
really a reference. I don't know what it is.
Anyway, if you guys have anything you'd want to say, or if you know a Christian apologetic that will actually sway us, convert the fuck out of me. Go ahead. The way to do that is to go to write to podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yes, it's true. Hey, go to the Facebook page. Click like. It's facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
And while on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join.
Yep.
It's a closed group.
Yep.
So you have to wait.
You have to
a
wait.
minute.
Uh-huh.
Be patient.
And then, boom, you're in.
And then you'll be the best thing that ever happened to you on Facebook.
If you want to be a Patreon donor, go to thankgodimatheist.com and click on the Patreon link. Or if you can't afford it, another way you can help is to just give us a 5-star review on your
On the iTunes.
app of choice.
Or app of... That's even better. Because we did a big old iTunes push forever ago.
Right.
And we got tons of reviews. It's awesome. It's great. But yeah,
But
if you're on something else...
if you're a Stitcher listener,
get on there.
There is a way to do it. Figure that out, and then
Yeah, we can
that
direct you to
It'll
it.
be really, really helpful for us if
Yeah.
you give us a 5-star review.
Much appreciated.
Really, thank you for that. Thanks also to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of this awesome music,
And thanks to Mackenzie for all of her help on Facebook.
and thank you, dear listener, for tuning in. We sure do appreciate you.
Bye.